What is going on, everyone? Badger here. Be sure to like and sub, and let's get into this. As most of you know, I don't actually read these articles beforehand. I like to read them and go through them with you so my reactions are genuine. That being said, just while setting this up, so you don't have to see me scrolling and I can just click from tab to tab, I read some of it. This is what we need. This is what we've been asking for. This is what Gary and Critical Drinker have been asking for. Now, granted, this is in the video game sphere, but an insider who knows all of the dirt, all of the tricks of the trade, and then comes out and calls out their own colleagues and defends us is what we need. We need actors to do it. We need writers and directors to do it. We need game devs to do it. We need comic writers to do it. We need everyone who's in the belly of the beast to come out. It can't just be us screaming. And that is exactly what this is. And by the way, if you've never heard of CEO Thomas Mahler from the game No Rest for the Wicked, I did a story about him in March where, again, he said, yeah, we don't like consultancy companies. All they do is come in and create division. Well, he is going to bat for us, and you better believe they're going to try to take him down. So protect this man at all costs, form around him like a bubble of protection online, and let's get into this. So yeah, here's the title: No Rest for the Wicked. CEO Thomas Mahler rebukes games journalists and defends gamers fighting back against woke ideology. Very much similar in tone to when Henry Cavill, when they tried to get him to talk shit about the Witcher fans, and he went, no, they're not toxic. They're passionate, and they have every right to be. No Rest for the Wicked CEO Thomas Mahler rebuked German games journalist Maurice Weber and issued a defense of gamers fighting back against woke ideology. Mahler took to different type of Mahler. Mahler took to X on 13th of May, where he detailed he was contacted by Weber for an article that will likely be published in the German outlet Gamestar. He wrote, I already know I might get myself into trouble once again by posting this, but I just replied to Maurice Weber, a German journalist who is affiliated with the German outlet Gamestar. I do think it's especially important these days that we always remind ourselves to try and keep an open mind and try to understand even those who think differently than we do. Well, there's a shocker. You never hear that. He then shared a response he sent to Weber regarding people who are apparently fed up by woke culture. And that would be the majority of the human race that has been exposed to it for the past decade. Even if you took this shit to Papua New Guinea or some tribal island where they didn't know anything, if you told them that we think men are women and women are men's and what we do to children, they would promptly eat us, probably. A little bit of cannibalism, but that doesn't mean they can't see truth for truth somewhere. Mahler wrote, I think it all makes sense, Maurice. This is basically a backlash against cancel culture and similar phenomena because everyone has had enough of that nonsense. I'd suggest you take a more nuanced view, especially since you position yourself as a journalist. Yet you often display a narrow-minded attitude and don't seem to question what's actually going on. And that is something we should expect from a journalist. Holy shit. Mahler is now my favorite. This Mahler, not the original Mahler, this Mahler, not the Cthulhu God Mahler, but this CEO. This is what we need them to say. Oh my God. Just because you personally haven't been affected by cancel culture, it doesn't mean there hasn't been a lot of foolishness happening, and it's still ongoing, he continued. And it's only a matter of time before it impacts you too. Mahler then shared famous words from Pastor Martin Niemöller. Consider this famous statement. First, they came for the socialists, and I did not speak out because I was not a socialist. Then they came for the trade unions, and I did not speak out because I was not a trade unionist. Then they came for the Jews, and I did not speak out because I was not a Jew. Then they came for me, and there was no one left to speak for me. Yeah, we're going to stop it now. Instead of allowing artists, did you just compare yourselves to Jewish people in World War II? Go fuck yourself. It's called an analogy. Instead of allowing artists to just be artists, Hollywood and most of the game developers on the West Coast have decided that it's appropriate to use films and video games as platforms to push their own political agenda. If you argue otherwise, I would expect a journalist like you to back it up with thorough research. He is letting him have it. And you could apply this to anyone in the gaming journalist sphere. Moreover, it's become the norm to point fingers at others, particularly at those who may think differently from from us rather than allowing others to be different and listen to them. Regardless, we attack them outright. It's frankly eerily reminiscent of old Nazi tactics, Mahler asserted. Anyone who doesn't conform is ridiculed, and it suggests that they be shamed, fired, and their careers destroyed. This has been the approach for over the past few years, and I know plenty of people who suffer whose careers have suffered and been devastated by the trivialities and misinformation, and they continue to suffer today. You seem unaffected, and thus you refuse to consider a more open perspective. Your apparent lack of empathy in this matter is not only unhelpful, but also shows a considerable amount of ignorance. Allow me to play critic for a moment. At Gamestar, you do the same thing. Instead of cleaning your own house, you wield the "we report and earn from our articles, but beware, those guys are the real villains" narrative, just to ensure the spotlight never falls on you, aligning yourself just so. That's precisely why we've cut you off. We find such morally dubious practices unacceptable and refuse to support them. Holy shit! Moral standards. Just everything he's saying could be said to everyone in the movie industry, TV industry, and news industry. You lack the initiative to conduct your own journalistic investigations, as it seems too much work when the next clickbait article is due the next day. The sad thing is that young journalists like yourself never knew anything else. The more outrage you generate, the more clicks you get, and that's how you make your living at the expense of others, which apparently doesn't matter as long as you're seen as the good guy, he opined. I hope in the future you will approach the world with more skepticism and openness and truly consider both sides instead of aligning yourself with one to amplify their propaganda. Holy hell. After sharing that response, Mahler added, it is deeply, deeply important that everything that happened over the past couple of years, that we always question hidden agendas, always try to be loving and show understanding, even to those we vehemently disagree with. Proper discourse is more important than ever. Yeah, I mean, we may tease, I may call Alyssa Mercanti, and all that, but I would talk with her in a hot second. Sure, just being funny. She's probably said some horrible shit too. This is where it is, though. We need to just be able to talk and suss things out. But holy hell, did he light them up? And journalists need to understand that their responsibilities in all of this is to start acting like journalists again. Man. And then, of course, and I'm going to end it right there, but this is, of course, all on the heels of that original comment by him when he said that those consultants only create issues and friction. Yeah. When he was answering Stupid Brazzi, where they were trying to say, oh, no, it doesn't ruin merit. He doesn't ruin merit. And then, of course, he ended up citing Jobs, who said that these consultants come in and basically they suck because they have nothing holding them to their ideas. They don't have to face the responsibilities or repercussions of their actions. They come in, they change what they want to change, and then they leave, and then the company is stuck holding the bag. Holy hell. So Thomas Mahler, new gaming industry hero, defending us, saying everything that needs to be said. I hope we see more of this. Let me know what you think of this. Make sure to like, share, and sub. If you have done that, thank you. If you're gonna do that, thank you. And shout out Thomas Mahler. Thank you.
Well, bye.